just give it a few minutes while people trickle in.
Did I just use my own copy of the slides?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's started slowing down like the rain a bit.
Okay.
Give it another minute, everybody. We're gonna tweet out real quick, and then we are go.
Thank you, everyone, for our meeting today. We'll be going over some Premia V3, which I know you're all excited to hear about. Some product updates, changes in marketing, and updates there. Partnerships that we're working on. What other research is going on behind the scenes, and some conferences that we'll be appearing at, so you can come and meet us in person With that, I will pass it over to Froggy to go over the platform metrics.
Thanks, Quinn. Over the past few months, we've seen 50% growth in volume on Arbitrum and 35% growth on mainnet. And we've added 2 new markets. We've added Luna on Arbitrum and Wi-Fi on both mainnet and Arbitrum. We are in talks with the Luna team to add Arbitrum or Luna on the Arbitrum market as well, but we are currently waiting for liquidity to be added to Arbitrum. We're excited about this growth on V2, and we expect it to continue over the coming months. Moving on, though, we are very excited about V3 and what's coming. As part of that, we have a primer coming out shortly in Q2. There are some very exciting features coming that we are planning to release with V3. The first of which is instant pro rata exposure for LPs. This means that we'll be removing our current liquidity queue such that any LP who is active in the pool when an option is purchased will receive pro rata exposure for that option. As part of this, though, we will also be enabling concentrated liquidity exposure, which is our most highly demanded feature. This means that LPs will be able to select exact strike price and maturity date ranges for their liquidity to be traded within. Or, of course, if an LP wants to, they can still underwrite across the entire surface as they would in V2. Also new in V3, LPs will be able to buy, sell, or market make for specific options within a pool. This means that users can deposit to a pool on either or both sides of the trade using range orders very similar to those seen on Uniswap V3 style exchanges. Also new in V3 is LPs will be able to set limit orders on their deposits. However, of course, users will still be able to set V2 style market deposits to be filled at the market rate, and this ensures that both passive and active liquidity management will be provided a seamless user experience on the protocol. We have taken close care to look into, other platforms that have implemented similar passive and active liquidity management, and we're making sure that both can interact in the same liquidity space seamlessly with competition. Next, we're very excited to announce that we'll be bringing margin to options in DeFi. This means that users will be able to sell options on margin to achieve improved capital efficiency. Selling options in DeFi currently is very capital intensive. However, selling on margin can improve the capital efficiency greatly for users underwriting low-risk options. This means that LPs can take on larger positions while locking up less capital, so long as they manage the risk of their positions. This also enables institutional option traders to enter the DeFi space and enjoy similar returns as they would see as in traditional finance. It also allows our users to capture higher returns on their capital when selling options on the platform. Next, we have greatly improved the pricing engine in V3. We're very excited to say that this leads to boundless capital utilization for LPs and an implied volatility for each option that is driven directly by buyers and sellers in the market. This works very similar to the well-known X times Y equals K pricing invariant that we see for spot markets. And finally, we plan to launch multiple MetaVaults in tandem with our V3 protocol release to enable users to take on passive yield strategies without having in-depth knowledge of options markets. These MetaVaults will all utilize options on Premia to generate yield, and some, such as our Delta Hedging Vault, will interact with other DeFi protocols to facilitate highly liquid vaults. Moving on to our product features, we have recently implemented 2 large and important updates to the V2 protocol: the sell feature and the utilization fee. We're very excited about the sell feature It has greatly improved the user experience for option traders on the platform. They can now capture the time value of options when settling a position. In addition to this, LPs can have an improved experience as well, as they can now earn additional rewards by market making within the pools, leading to shorter lockup times and higher reuse of capital as the users close positions before expiration. We've released new Wi-Fi and Luna markets on Mainnet and Arbitrum, as discussed earlier, due to demand from our community. If you'd like to see new token markets, we'd love to hear from you, either in our Discord, or we'd love to see a proposal posted on Snapshot. We've also partnered with 2 community-created protocols recently, Vaults Pro and Nox Vaults, and they've been given grants from the Premia DAO to build protocols that utilize Premia options. We're excited to see what they build, and in tandem, we will also be building a Premia SDK with these teams, such that we can release this open source library to the DeFi community and allow for anyone to implement Premia options into their front end or their contracts. Some upcoming features that we're working on. We're working on some conceptually new markets, namely options for stablecoins and options with yield-backed collateral. These come with some interesting implications that we are making sure to work through thoroughly before we make these markets available. We're excited for our Phantom deployment, which is slotted for next week. Make sure to look out for an announcement from our team, as well as for an announcement for an AMA with the Phantom team. And finally, we'll be polishing the current UI to improve the user experience across the platform. A small part of this will be to improve the underwritten positions screen for liquidity providers so that they can see more in-depth information and make better decisions, more informed decisions with their capital on the platform. We'll also be adding a user history section to the site so that LPs and traders can see anytime their capital was used, when and how exactly it was used across the platform. This is useful for LPs, especially as their capital within pools can be utilized at any time, and they'll now receive a notification on the platform. They can see exactly which option was purchased and when with their capital. Now I'm going to hand it over to Coin to discuss marketing and some potential partnership plans.
So many of you have seen a new Tubby Cat in the Discord, our new VP of Marketing, Artem. Artem is coming up with some new interesting ways that we can reach a wider audience, and one of those is an ambassador. Within that includes Premia education through a Premia Academy, very similar to what people are familiar with from Binance, with their Binance Academy, where we'll kind of go through and show people how to use all the features of the platform, how to trade options in a very simple, easy to understand way. We'll have articles to go along with those videos that break down the different features and uses of the platform. Protocol AMAs and co-marketing with our current partners and future partners. Concave, we just had an AMA and Twitter Spaces with. Olympus DAO, we're planning some things with, some AMAs and between both of our communities. Phantom will have one lined up shortly after deployment. And then with one of our favorite partners, The Graph. Some potential partnership plans, moving on to that. I've talked about it briefly in Discord, but I've been talking with some guys at Vesta about what it would take to get Premia as collateral there. There are a few things that we need, such as an Oracle, and obviously there's some development that goes into this, but looking into ways to find more uses with Premia and other protocols for everyone. Been talking with some funds and market makers around stablecoin interest in the stablecoin pools, hedging with those. Luna and Terra, Froggy mentioned before he handed it off to me, but we've been in contact with their team with getting the Luna market set up and continuing those conversations with the UST markets that will be soon to come. Olympus DAO, myself and Froggy recently circled back with, began talking with them again around protocol and liquidity implementations, creating new DEX liquidity pools, primarily possibly Premia with Geom, as well as Geom options markets on Premia. It's no secret we've been talking with GMX for a little while. If it's not up now, it will be up shortly, but there's a price feed coming online for them. And then we'll kind of get into setting up an options market for GMX and working on our redacted features with them. Another one that we've been recently talking with is Badger. The Badger team's interested in getting an options market set up for the Badger token. But some other things that interest me as we kind of build out these yield-bearing pools, doing things with their set vaults and their wrap ETC vaults and some of the other vaults that they're doing to give more capital efficiency to users of other protocols within Premia. Another two that aren't listed on here, but you've seen through the AMA and some of the marketing, our partnership with Concave and looking into different ways of protocol and liquidity and implementations of that with them. They're taking kind of a different approach to that. So we'll be interested to see kind of how that comes once they get that up and going with their magic smart bonding. And then another one is Itchy. I think with the price going up lately, everyone's heard of them. But we've been in talks with them for a little bit about their angel vaults. So keep an eye out for that or more information as we continue those conversations and see what it would take to possibly get a Premia native stablecoin and a vault up for Premia there. Now I'll pass it back to Froggy so we can go over some of the research we're doing outside of V3.
Thanks, Wayne. Yeah, so as mentioned previously, we're looking into how we can enable stablecoin options. As part of this, we've done a lot of research on stablecoin implied volatility surfaces. How we can allow both LPs and traders to, participate in the hedging of tail risk for these tokens. You could imagine that if a token breaks peg either on the upside or the downside, that users would want to have calls and puts on that to hedge those risks. So as such, we are looking into the implications thereof and excited to see what comes therein. And as part of this, we're also looking at providing yield on idle collateral within our pools. There are multiple tokens that we're looking to do this with, but the most important that we see it with is stablecoins. And so we're looking into how we can make this possible and, of course, what the implications are within our current pools. But we look forward to how we can make this possible in the near future. After this, we're also looking at low liquidity price oracles. We currently use Chainlink price feeds for all of our price oracles on the contracts, but we are looking into ways that we can enable lower liquidity tokens on the platform using alternative price oracles. As part of this, we are actually looking into creating something of our own, if necessary, if nothing in the market meets what is required. But of course, we are looking at all of the existing tools first to make sure that something doesn't meet our needs. And we've also been talking to Chainlink to try to lower their liquidity requirements so we could get price feeds for tokens like Premia. But of course, if the market won't make it, then we'll figure out how to make it happen if it is possible. But of course, there are in-depth concerns here when you're talking about price feeds. There was recently a hack on a well-known protocol that was using Keeper price feeds, and there's been there's been hacks all across DeFi recently using all types of TWAP price feeds from Uniswap, etc. And so we are well aware of the exploits therein, and we will be avoiding these in any implementation that we move forward with. Next, we were looking into the practicalities of delta hedging. This is something that we, looking forward to making possible in our V3 vaults. But as such, there are some practicalities that are important to take into account and to know well in advance of building these things. The liquidity is not the same in all delta hedging venues, and the amount of liquidity directly relates to the effectiveness of your hedge. And so this is something that we are looking into very in depth before we bring this to our platform. And finally, we're very excited about the cross-chain future of Ethereum. So, there have been recent advancements with the Layer 0 protocol, specifically with Stargate, enabling cross-chain swaps, etc. And the Layer 0 protocol has enables many new possibilities for cross-chain applications. And so we are watching this closely to see, what happens in the space and what is made possible. As we're excited to see what happens in cross-chain dApps in the future. Moving on to our conferences, we'll be in Paris in the coming weeks at Paris Blockchain Week. If you're going to be there, please let us know. Come say hi. We'll also be at ETH Amsterdam right after. And then in June, a good portion of the team will be at Consensus. If you are going to be at any of these conferences, we encourage you to reach out, let us know. We'd love to see you, see your face, talk to you about the protocol or about what you're doing in DeFi, etc. And of course, the last one is Graph Day. That one is right before Consensus in June in San Francisco. If you're going to be there, please let us know. We are potentially looking at going, just looking to see if we can get some team members there. But if we have demand from our community, then that would, of course, push us a little further to go. So please let us know. And anyways, that's it for this presentation today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of our community. We really appreciate you. And we'd appreciate if you would join our Discord to go over community questions right now. You're welcome to post your own questions, and we'd love to answer them. So I'll see you.